Yesterday I uploaded a video where I read the book, The Paper Princess by Elisa Clevin. And I mentioned that the illustrations in this book were one of my favorite parts about it. Now, I thought we could go through the book again and pay extra close attention to the illustrations. I'm not even going to read the words. We'll just look at the pictures. And we can look at the ways that the pictures tell the story. Now, the words tell us the story, but sometimes the pictures can tell us things about the story that the words don't. So let's see what we can discover from these amazing illustrations. Here we see the little girl making the paper princess, but let's look closer. What can we learn about the little girl by looking at the picture? Well, we see that she's playing outside, drawing the princess, but the words don't say what she's making the princess out of. But I can look at the pictures and see that those are crayons. So she's drawing the princess with crayons, and look, I even see some scissors, and that can tell me that she's probably going to cut the princess out. When something in the book gives you a hint about what will happen later, it's called foreshadowing. So those scissors foreshadow that the princess is going to get cut out. Now look, I can also see that this little girl has a swing on her tree. She lives by a lake. Look, there's her brother and the dog that we meet at the end of the story. And here's her house. I know that she has a bike, a white kitty, and that someone in her home plays the banjo. Here, she's swinging with the princess, and she mentions to the princess that cotton hair would be fluffy. And when I look at the picture, I think I know what made her think about cotton hair. Do you see it? It's the sheep. She probably saw those sheep and thought, ooh, they look like big fluffy cotton balls. Also, I can see some kids flying a kite. That tells me, alongside the fact that all of those petals are blowing around in the wind, that it is a windy day, which gives me a hint. It foreshadows that the paper princess might blow away. And she does blow away. And she blows away, and you can see the whole world here. Look, there is the little girl's house. And there's the little girl and the princess. You can see all the details. There's a bird taking something to build its nest with, which might foreshadow that later the blue jay takes the paper princess to build her nest. I see some cows and the sheep, and over here I see the carnival that the little princess is going to end up at. Here she tries on cloud hair and flower hair and candy wrapper hair. And here she is at the carnival. This page I think is really special because it really shows you the whole world of the story and it makes it real. See, here's the carnival. And here's all of the homes where all of those children are living their lives. A special detail in this picture is that you can see down here, this family is celebrating Shabbat. They even have Hebrew letters on the paper that the illustrator used for a collage. On this page, you can see some good details about the school, and you can see the trash can. So you know that there's a trash can, so it's not a surprise later when the princess gets thrown away. And then over here, you can see two more birds taking something to build their nest with. That is reminding us, birds are building their nests. So later, we're not surprised when the jay tries to build her nest with the princess. See? And here's the jay, and there, right there, is the paper princess in the trash. And here, again, you get to see the whole world really well. There's the lake and the cows. You can see a little bit of the city over here. And the school. And the blue jay and the princess are high above all of it. You can see the eggs in the blue jay's nest when she gives the princess her hair. And here, they're flying back to find the little girl. And you can also, again, see the whole world. And I love all of the details that the illustrator thought to include. Look, There's a dock so that the boats can go out on the water. There's a bridge over the water and some sailboats. You can see some traffic. There's a school bus, and I wonder if that is the school bus that takes the kids to the school we just saw. There's a cat on the roof. You can see some more people living their lives in their homes. Those kids are drawing too. There is the Ferris wheel. Is that the fair that the princess went to first? And now I see some sheep, and I know we're probably getting closer to the little girl's home, and there's some kids flying kites. I love all those details. Here you can see that the Jay and the princess are saying goodbye. And I know that we're close to the little girl's house because I see the sheep and I see the lake with the sailboat. And over here, I see a picture of the meadow that says happy birthday that's blowing away. Now here I see the clouds, and that reminds me of the clouds up top that the paper princess first tried on for hair. Now here she is, and she is with a little boy and a dog. And if I think back to the first page, I realize that this little boy and dog look familiar. It's the little girl's brother. And I can see that he is using the same crayons to draw on the back of the paper princess. Now, we know who he is, but the paper princess doesn't know who he is. That is called irony, when the reader of a book knows something that the characters don't. It's dramatic irony. Oh, and look at that beautiful picture that he drew on the back of the princess. And here we can see that this house looks very familiar. There's the boy and the dog. There's a swing that looks familiar. And the house looks pretty familiar. And we know that it's the little girl's house from the first picture. And here we see inside the house, and he gives her the doll. We can tell it's her birthday because look at all those decorations and a balloon and a cake that says happy birthday. And over here she discovers it's her princess, and they're very excited. And on this picture, we can see what she does with the princess next. How she makes more things for the paper princess. She makes the paper princess a sweater, which she hasn't cut out yet, and a brother, which she did cut out. She makes her an elephant to ride, and a crown, and a banjo. See the crown and the banjo? Where do you think she got the idea to make the princess a banjo? That's right, I bet that she got the idea from the fact that somebody in her family plays the banjo. And there we can see her bedroom and how happy they are. And here we can see that the princess still goes on adventures with her blue jay friend. It doesn't say that. All the words say are here, there, everywhere, and home again. But when we look at the pictures, we know that the blue jay and the paper princess still stayed friends. And look down here. You can see the little girl and her dog and her brother and the paper princess's brother and the scissors and the crayons. And there's the mom hanging out laundry on a clothesline to dry, and the bicycle. And then when you look, you can see, it's starting to turn seasons. It's starting to become fall, because look at those leaves and those geese. There's the sheep. And so we see that the world is continuing to grow, and the seasons are changing, and that the princess lived happily ever after. And that is one of the very special ways that I like to look at the pictures in a book, because they can tell me so many more things that I might not have known if I never studied them. Thanks for looking at these pictures with me, you guys. I hope you had fun. I know I did.